This year, the class of 2018 has been blessed with not one, but two valedictorians, Eric Burkholder and Eric Yeager. Our first valedictorian to speak tonight is Mr. Eric Burkholder. Eric Levi Burkholder is the son of Earl and Beth Burkholder. Eric plans to major in mathematics at Valparaiso University. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eric Burkholder.
So I didn't know they were going to have my speech up here for me, so I brought my own. I made some slight changes, don't worry too much. First, I'd just like to thank all the people who kind of helped to get me to where I am today, including the administration and my teachers who've worked to make this an environment that I was able to thrive in, and just provide an education that I believe is going to help us as we move into the next part of our lives, as I think Mr. Woodhouse touched on earlier. I'd also like to have some more specific thank yous for those who have a particularly significant impact on my life. I'd like to thank my friends and family who came today, as well as my family who was unable to attend. And specifically, I'd like to thank my friends Maddie, Adam, and McKenna. It was pretty dang cool that you guys came. I'd like to thank my youth group leaders, mentors, my friends here at school, and my coaches, as these people have specifically just had an impact on me intellectually and spiritually throughout my life. As for my speech, I was given a lot of advice about what to say and how to say it. Ever since it was even possible I might give this speech, my father warned me that I shouldn't be arrogant. Another piece of advice I was given was, don't try to solve all the world's problems. But I think the best advice I was given was from one of my youth group leaders, Mama Stacy. She told me that for this speech, I needed to speak from the heart, and that she said, in those moments that I showed my heart, it was genuine, fierce, and kind. So in my attempts to do that a bit, I'm using another bit of advice from Mama Stacy, and that's to focus on the important things. So obviously, since I'm standing up here, most of you could probably guess that I've been pretty focused on school the past few years. And you would be right. And to fill in the gaps, I've also been focused on my academic teams and speech and debate. And these have been all great experiences, and I don't think I would give them up for almost anything. But to be completely honest, my accomplishments in them are soon going to pass away. And 20 years ago, the only reason you're going to remember who the valedictorians were is because they were the Erics. Instead, I think the important things that Stacy was telling me about were family, friends, and faith. And so as for family, I come from a large one, being the youngest of 7 siblings. And greater than any of my accomplishments, I've enjoyed much more my time with them. Whether it be my sister's wedding last week or just playing with my nephews on a swing set, those are the important things, those relationships with other people. As for my friends, I have here with me a page from my 7th grade science textbook. Now in 7th grade, to give you some brief background, my science textbook was completely falling apart. I think the cover was gone at least through the first half of the year. And so Eric Yeager flipped a few pages into my textbook and wrote on it, I don't think I can actually read it now, but I remember it saying, if Eric still has this page at the end of the school year, I'll be impressed. So I took that on myself as a challenge, and not wanting to lose, I found a loophole, and I promptly tore the page out of my book. I folded it up, and I put it in my wallet, and it has been there ever since. Take that, Eric. And so obviously this is pretty meaningless, but for me it's kind of a representation of the friendships I've had and the relationships I've had over the past few years. And it means much more to me than any of the grades I've ever gotten. And as for my faith, the peace and fellowship that I've gained from it have surpassed anything that I'm ever going to do. Unfortunately, this is also the place that I've lacked my focus over the past few years. But while other areas have brought me questions, my faith has been able to bring me answers. So many of us are either going off to college or careers, or we just want to find out what we're going to do next. And we're going to be tempted to put a lot of our focus on our grades, or our positions, or our social standing, or our bank accounts. And these can be important things, but they're not the important things. Instead, we need to focus on the little things that make life worth living. These are the playtimes with nephews, the drawn-out bets between friends. It's the trying to fit your whole crew in a photo booth. It's your parents telling you they love you for no reason except for it being true. It's long hugs when you don't want to say goodbye. It's a sibling moving back to their hometown in order to be closer to their family, and it's the fellowship we have with others. So I hope I haven't spoken too long, and if you were a bit bored, don't worry. I've read Yeager's speech, and it's quite a bit funnier than mine. Thank you for letting me speak, and congratulations, class of 2018.